So I sat down to make some guides this morning and I got completely sidetracked diving into the lore of the elves and the dwarves this morning. Some of the reveals we've gotten in Veilguard have been absolutely. I mean, I've been flabbergasted a couple of times. Yesterday during I'm going to spoil stuff. So if you haven't yet played the Veilguard, you might want to not watch this video because I'm going to be spoiling a lot of. Well, pretty much, I'm just going to spoil it. Just point blank, I want to talk about it. So, uh, elven lore, dwarven lore, and yeah, there's some cool stuff in Veilguard. So, we're going to spoil it. I'm going to talk it. You've been warned. Everything past this point is spoiler territory. So, again, if you haven't played it, watch it later. So, a few major reveals happen in the Veilguard, not the least of which. Alright, so you know how dwarves can't dream, right? Like, that's always been a thing in Dragon Age, like, dwarves can't dream. Um, and then we find out that the reason they can't dream is because their dreams were stolen from them by none other than the elven gods. And as the story has deepened, holy crap, were the elven gods not nice at all. Elven mages, essentially, who became so powerful that they became gods. Kind of like the Anguithin in the Pillars of Eternity games in the world of Aora that Obsidian is putting together. Which, by the way, those of you who are having a great time playing this game, just wait for Avowed, because Avowed's coming out in February, and it's going to be a similar experience. Although that one you get to be first person or third person. I'll be going first person all the way through because I like playing games like that in first person. Anyway, um, but not just the fact that the dwarves had their dreams stolen from them by the elven gods, but also the fact that they're all tied into the Titans. And then you get into this whole storyline of, well, the reason the Titans had their memories stripped away from them and destroyed was because there was this, big war all those years ago, and Mythal convinced Solus, and together they basically decided to create. Well, first they decided to strip the memories of the Titans away, and that aspect of it became the Blight. So it's the twisted nightmare memories of the Titans that became the Blight, right? And then in the process of that, the Titans being the precursors to the dwarves, just so much tragedy there in these elven mages deciding that, well, in order to end this war with the Titans, we have to do this horrible thing. But then in order to do that, like in order to become physical, in order to take themselves and become physical, take physical form and go from spirit form to physical form, that was the process of stripping the memories away and destroying the Titans to give themselves physical forms. Well, then in the process of that, also, the elven lore here and the realization for Balara, and also for all of elvendom, that the elves, the elven gods, are not really gods, but just these powerful mages, and that they were the reasons that the world was torn apart, and the reason for the dwarves suffering, and the reason for all this other suffering. They're the cause of the blight. Like, they're the reason the blight exists in the first place, and the blight was essentially their plaything after that point to try to, create other things. The moment when you're having that group discussion with your party and you decide not to tell the rest of the world because it would just destroy the world, because if everyone knew, and goes into, like Babylonia was talking about the other day, like, we haven't seen a lot of the same racism in this game compared to previous games because they've kind of toned that part of it down. The whole knife ears stuff that we used to get. Elves are not necessarily looked upon in a good light already in many places, especially, if you think about the Dalish. And if the world were to find out that the elves or the elven gods were responsible for all the bad stuff that's happened over the years. And they're the direct result of everything, from dwarves not having dreams to destroying the titans and causing that chaos to being the creators of the blight. And it would not be good for elves. And so it would cause just absolute chaos. And the elves, as a people, as they exist now, are innocent of the crimes of their forefathers, right? So the sins of the fathers here. Uh, this has been a masterclass in storytelling for me as someone who makes a living creating worlds. Well, I don't anymore, but I did for a long time. You know, making a living creating worlds. The world builder in me has been absolutely fascinated with seeing how all of this has panned out. Now, I'm not even to the end of the storyline here, so I'm I'm a little over 60 hours into the game right now. I feel like we're probably in the final stages. I don't think we haven't quite hit that point of no return, but we're sort of meandering towards that path. And like last night, we did this epic fight where we went down into the depths of the deep roads with Harding and had this confrontation with one of the old titans, and the revelation of who she is and her memories coming back, and now she's able to have dreams again because she took that part of herself back. I I cried during that fight. Like that sequence for me was so epic. And then the other day, getting the reveal. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. With Morgan, that she now carries Mythal inside of her, and the discussions with the shade of Mythal when we gain Mythal's favor, which is going to come into play later on in the game. These revelations have been just from a storytelling. I've played all of the games, and I've been with this franchise for 20ish years, or however long it's been. It's been a while. I don't even know if it's been 20 years. It's been close to 20 years. Having all of this play out over this grand scale and get us to where we are right now, I just have to say that specifically coming from a high fantasy perspective and playing all of these other high fantasy games and reading all of these high fantasy books over the years, the traditional elven and dwarvish relations are usually tropey in most games that you play. It is so not tropey here. Like, there is some serious storytelling and world building that has happened here. And I just gotta say, huge shout out to the writing team at BioWare for the reveals that we've had during Dragon Age: The Veilguard so far. Again, I haven't finished the storyline yet, but everything I've seen so far has been absolutely just enthralling. And the kid in me and the person who loves fantasy books and fantasy stories and movies and films and video games, I just have to say, the Dwarven Elven stuff has been absolutely just spine-tinglingly good. So huge shout out to the writing team for making this as cool as it has been. And I hope you guys are having as much fun as I am with this story as it unfolds. Because there have been multiple things that just I was like flabbergasted, which doesn't happen very often, but like the reveal of how what the blight is and how the blight got started, and the willingness to just sacrifice other people, and the elven mages were not cool. Those elven gods, none of them are good. None of them are good. Like, good stuff. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Daily streams, 8 or 9 a.m. in the morning. We've still got lots more Veilguard in the gas tank, so we'll be playing this all the way up to Stalker 2, so stay tuned. We'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay safe. Happy gaming.